My home, my town, and my dad's office all burned down in 2021 in the Dixie Fire. Some backstory. My dad is a lawyer. He's what I like to call the farm town lawyer. He got paid in eggs and in work trades and pretty much just anything. When you live in a tiny, tiny town, that's just kind of how it goes. So when the fire burnt everything down in Greenville, he was approached by a ton of attorneys. Because when these fires burn down, the lawyers swarm because they are mass torts. And my dad was approached by a lot of these firms because if you partner with the local lawyer, you have an in with the entire community. My dad felt a pretty big pressure to represent the community. He was on the school board, he was a church leader, and he really cared about these people, and he knew that this was his way of giving back. So through a family connection, actually, he met with the lawyers at Parkinson Benson Potter. It was his mom, my dad's mom, so my grandma, and her friend, it was her son who was also a lawyer who had been doing wildfire specific law for, I think, over 20 years. It really took only one meeting for my dad to get a really good feel of like, okay, these guys actually they care about their clients. They're people who work freaking hard to get good settlements. Basically, like some bigger firms will try to litigate quickly to maximize their time, where it was very apparent that PBP was people who took the time to make sure the settlements were as high as they could be for these people. So my dad ended up partnering with them. Okay, now me, who am I? I'm Jay. I worked at a full service ad agency in Dallas, graduated from the top ad school in the nation, and was working at this full service agency. So, and I did good at that agency. I won awards, even won awards for the piece that we did about Greenville. But then one of the lawyers approached me who worked at PBP and said, hey, I need a good marketing person, someone who knows how to connect with people, because I care about my clients and I want to make as big of an impact as I can. And I'm telling you, people thought I was crazy when I left my full service ad agency to work for a lawyer. I felt a little crazy myself because the reality is I would not have left for anybody but Mark.
I told you we needed more glitter.
But as I started working for Mark, I had a huge learning curve. Even though my dad was a lawyer, I was I wasn't super familiar with the law or how it worked. What was the difference between a class action and a mass action? I knew nothing. So the first year was honestly just me learning. And what would often happen, either when I've talked to my dad or I've talked to Mark, is hey, can you explain this to me like I'm a civilian? Explain this to me like I'm a normal person. And they said, okay, sure. And then they would. And I've realized there's not a lot of resources that do that for people. You have to have at least some base level of legal to understand what they're talking about. And I saw a need. And so I said, I want to create a space for people like me to understand what the heck's going on from a civilian, at a civilian level. I am not a lawyer. I will not pretend to ever be a lawyer. This is not legal advice. This is like you talking to your friend oh my gosh, have you heard about this new thing? And I want you to take it that way. I want you to know right off the bat, I am a marketing professional who works for a law firm. I am all about full transparency. The reason I put so much into this job is because if something happened to me, I would want Mark to represent me. I work for the man because I believe in him. I know that he's gonna do good for people. Or else I honestly wouldn't be here. There's plenty of other things I could do. In all of my videos, when I talk about new cases and what's happening, I am gonna plug Mark's law firm because I believe that he's the best that you could do. However, I'm also going to encourage you to research to see who else is out there. Do your homework when you decide who you want to represent you, because that is always your choice. But I'm here to tell you that Mark changed my family's life. He did. And if you want a lawyer who gives a damn about you, then he's a good one to sign up with. Subscribe below if you want to hear about the latest cases explained at a civilian level, and also just other legal terms that are things that I have learned along my way on my journey. Thanks for watching.